I'm picking up from where we left off last week, where I was identifying notes within the chords, and but with these, I was identifying notes when the actual root note is actually on the top string. I'm going to do a couple more where that's the case, but then after that, I'll be concentrating on notes where the root note is actually not on the top string. I'll still be working within the 7th and 8th, right, so between 7th and 10th frets, and I'll be still concentrating on the C in the root, but this time I'm going to just bar the whole lot and then just stroke down. Now that is a C minor chord. It's a C minor 7 chord. Actually, a lot of people do not play the 4th note. They'll replace that 4th with a perfect 5th. See, it sounds a little bit better then. Or some players will just omit to playing the 4th note altogether, just by plucking the top string with the thumb and catching the flat 7, flat 3rd and the perfect 5th with the other 3 fingers. Now the C minor is not the same as C major, obviously. C major, when you play a perfect C major chord, it contains all diatonic notes that are natural. What I mean by that is natural notes, i.e. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So there's no sharps or flats. And you can easily identify natural notes on the keyboard. They're all the white keys. All the black keys are sharps or they're flats, depending on what key center you're working in. So in this particular case, I'm not in C major, I'm in C minor. Now the C minor, you can play a number of different scales over it. You can play a Dorian scale over it, so that would be 1, 2, flat 3, 4, perfect 5th, 6, flat 7. Now the Dorian, the key center for the Dorian scale will be B flat major, and B flat major has an F in it, so that's the reason why the 4 is still perfectly valid to use in there. Just doesn't work very well. It's much better to that 4th note, which is an F. So I just showed you in the Dorian. You can also play on the natural minor or the Aeolian. That 4th exists again. Now that would be the Aeolian, the key center for C minor Aeolian is F major. So again, the F fits. The other one that you can put that in is you can play Phrygian minor. Sorry. Again, in the Phrygian minor, the 4th is played. The key center for Phrygian minor is A flat major, so A flat major again has an F in it, so as a diatonic note. So this again, this chord's really easy because you're just going straight down the neck. So it's the root, it's the 4th, it's the flat 7, it's the flat 3rd, it's the perfect 5th, and it's the root. And like I said, you could pick up the perfect 5th over here as well if you wanted to play it that way. So this is the last chord I want to show you where the actual root is on the top string, and this one. Okay, it's not coming out very well. So what am I playing here? I've got a root note, of course. I'm not playing the 4. That's dumped off. I'm playing the flat 7, so I know I'm either playing a minor or a dominant. I'm certainly not playing a major because there's a flat 7 in there. So I still need more notes to identify if it's a major, if it's a minor or a dominant. This one here is actually a major 3rd. So that means that I'm actually playing a dominant chord, so the minors are out now. So it all depends on what the last ones I've got here. So actually below that, I'm actually playing a 6th chord, but it's a 6th in the next octave. So it's a 13th chord. It's 6 add 7. It's 7 to is all the notes in the first octave, and then you add 6 to that, and that will give you a 13th. So I'm playing at the moment a C 13th, but what's that last chord and last note? Well, that last note is the 2, and it's the 9th. So I'm playing a dominant with a 9th with a 13th. It's just called a 13th. So all those notes that I played in there, they're all diatonic to that. I mean, basically what I'm playing there, I'm playing a C dominant, which is a 5 chord to F major scale. Now, all those notes that I just played are diatonic to the F major scale. So that means that they will naturally occur within that scale, within that key center. There are, though, because I'm playing a dominant, so the 9th and the 13th are actually what's known as extended notes within that chord. So what that means is that normally when you're playing a C7, I would be playing the 1, the 3, the 5 and 7. But I can also play a 6, I can play a 9th, I can play a 13th. So they're all naturally occurring they're all natural notes within that scale. But they're extended, they go beyond the normal 7, sevenths. I hope that makes sense. There are other notes that I can actually put in the dominant chord to alter it, and they are chromatic notes. They're not diatonic. They're not natural to the scale. And the notes I can add are the flat 5, the raised 5, the flat 9, and raised 9th. And I can show you that by actually playing the scale over there. So I can play this. So they all go in that. So that's the 1. Flat 2, remember the flat 2 is basically flat 9, which was the extended altered chord that you can stick in there. That's the raised 2 or raised 9th. That's the major 3rd, which is what is in that chord. That's the flat 5. That's the raised 5. That's the 6. Sorry, that's the flat 7, and that's the root. So it's the 1, flat 9, raised 9, major 3rd, raised lowered 5th, raised 5th, flat 7, and root. It's sort of played in a 2-5-1 sort of progression. So what I was saying before, if I'm playing C is the 5 chord, the F major, which is this one, that would be the root. That's the major chord to the 5. So what happens is you can play a 2-5-1, which is. So when you play a minor. this is the F major. Notice that the root now is no longer on the top string, it's actually on the next string down. So how do I identify where everything is? How do I know this is a major 7? How can I identify the notes? Well, we can still go the same way as we did before until we hit, obviously, that the bottom 2 strings. It's going to be slightly different. So we go, okay, so this is F. Let's go down to C. I'm going to go down to C because then it makes it quite easier to see. So, okay, so I've got my C, so I've got my 1 chord. That's my major 3rd. Remember, below is 4 and the long is the major 3rd. I'm still okay. This is the one below that will be the flat 7, but it's not, it's next to the flat 7 going up, so that is actually the major 7th. But now the bottom one, that doesn't tally up. That's not the same anymore because my root string is not on the bottom anymore because I'm not plucking the root string. The way I can identify what that bottom string is I know that the 5 note is directly above the root. So this string here, this top string is the 5 note, and the bottom string is the 5 note. And the one above the 5 is the 2. So what I'm playing here is I'm playing 1, 3, major 7, 2. Notice something here. I'm going to go back up to the F. So this is a 9th chord, basically, because it's got a 9th in it. It's got a major 7, it's got a 9th, right? But it's missing a perfect 5th. Now you get a lot of bossa nova playing, but they actually, because the top one's 5th, I can play the 5th, and they normally sort of switch between the root and the 5th when they play bossa nova. I'll give you an example. So you got. So basically you sort of pedal in the 5 and the root. So that's the only difference. You've just got to remember now, it's a different train of thought. You've got to now think the bottom string is the 5 and the one above it is the 2. So now every one of these ones becomes easy. I mean, like, okay, I've just switched that now. So I've got a 1, a 3, a flat 7. So I'm playing a dominant now with a 2. So it's a C9. It's an F9 chord because it's a 9th. So, and sometimes you hear it played like this. Well, again, you're still playing, so you're playing the root, the 3rd, the major 3rd, the flat 7, so it's still a dominant, but now I've got this is a flat 3, this is a minor 3rd. Remember below it was the 2, and the one above it is the minor 3rd. And the one below that was the 5, and I'm playing a minor 6. So, and again, I mean, so I'm playing a dominant there. I can play a minor, but simply by changing that major, flicking it down there. So that was that 2-5-1 progression before. So that's the 2 chord. That's the 5 chord. And that's the 1 chord. And you play the 6. So yeah, so it's not much different. You just got to remember, as long as you can identify sort of the relationship directly with the root and directly around it, you can find these other chords. They're not that difficult to find once you sort of got the hang of it. So okay, what am I playing now? I don't know what I'm playing here. Okay, so I've got a root. So I know that the bottom one's a 2 and a 6. So we've got a root, I've got a flat 5. So I'm playing a flat 5. This might be a diminished. So I'm playing a flat not 5, and I'm playing a 6, and I'm playing, it was 2 flat 3, so it's a sort of a form of diminished chord. Because it can be slid. It's when you play a diminished chord, so here's a diminished chord. So I've got a 1, flat 5, flat 7, and so 1, flat 5, flat 7, and I'm playing a, so what? So that's a 5, that's a 5, it's a 2, that's a flat 3. So, but when you go up 3 notes, that's just an inversion of the same chord. You go up again. That's the beauty of a diminished chord. You can actually move it up and down, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's probably about it for the moment. What I'll do is I'll as I can think of other things to put in, probably hopefully help you understand you know, more about what's going on with the neck. I'll add it in. Okay, until next time. See ya.